Hello everyone, I am back with another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be reacting to some more horror stories, of course. I'm going to make a playlist actually, as well, after I've done it. The next video, I'm going to be reacting to some Patty Mayo. He's a bail enforcement agent. I used to watch him all the time, literally like 2-3 years ago. He was really good, and I thought he was real, and he's not. The image you can see behind, well, my obviously webcam. That's my other YouTube video that's just been posted the other day. I advise you to go watch it. It's funny. It does bug out towards the end though. It didn't do that when I was streaming, so I'm sorry for that. But just watch halfway through it. It's still funny. Because when I said halfway through it to watch the video right here, it didn't let me. So I'm gonna play it for you right now and then have a listen. Hello everyone, let me just jump into the video real quick. My parcel has arrived. I've got my football shirts from the shoot that I'm about to do very soon. I'm a big Man U fan, so I've got me and my dad a Man U away shirt for this season. Well, it's last season. 24, 25 I think? 25, 26, I don't fucking know, I can't remember. And an England shirt from I think last year. Well, anyway, just a quick reminder, let's get back into the video. Right, so as you can see, I got my parcels. I'm obviously wearing the England shirt right now as well. So I need to obviously pull up thingy, don't I? Oh, is it been buggy with me today? What's going on? Alright. YouTube. Oh, it's already put me on YouTube and I'm on some advert. Horror stories. It should already be up from when I fingered it other day. We don't want to watch 3. We want to watch more. Oh, you want to go into Llama Arts? Come on, then we'll watch some. Hang on. We want to find some little low ones. Some that's not very long. We've already seen that one. Oh, we're going to carry on watching the 18 True Sonora Hot. Oh my god, I can't even speak. Let me pull this back up because I need to get rid of this image. I don't know which one's which. Alright, so that's that one. As you can see, we're going to carry on watching this one. And I've got a glass of milk with me, to help seize the scariness. So, let's carry on watching it. We have got True Wax Horror Story. True Wax? The following stories were inspired by... bro, I didn't even get to read it, but alright. The Wax Creep. I don't think there is. It could be a wax creep, but alright.
Years ago, I worked at this cheap waxing salon in a rundown part of town. The place was open 6 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but the only people that ever really worked there were me and the owner herself. She'd come in for the morning and work on the handful of regulars we had, then she would leave me to watch the shop from 3 to close. Since the salon was right on the edge of the ghetto, it isn't hard to imagine.
Wait. A salon like, to do people's nails or hair? Why is that going to be happening late at night? Bro, what the hell?
That the clientele was sparse at best, especially after dark. I hardly remember getting any customers in all the time I worked there. Mainly, I would just make myself appear busy by cleaning the same things over and over again, with more and more attention to detail as the boredom grew. It felt nice in a way for the boss to trust me with a business like that, and I was getting paid by the hour, so it didn't matter to me if I was actually waxing somebody or just sanitizing the beds again even though they weren't in use. All around, it was an alright gig, and if nothing had happened, I probably would have kept working there until it inevitably closed down or laid me off due to lack of business. But of course, I wouldn't have such a crystal clear memory of my last night working there if something hadn't happened. It was just after sunset, and I had another 2 hours to go on my shift, so I decided to wipe down the whole big window pane from the inside, then the glass part of the front door too. It was pretty dark out, and I knew I was in a sketchy side of town, so I took a good look through the door to make sure nobody was lurking out in front of the shop watching me clean.
Well, why would you look outside, bro? And you got you've just literally just said you've got windows and you're cleaning them. Look out
There
there.
was no one in sight, so I felt safe kneeling to wipe down the bottom window pane of the door.
No,
I
I
killed a
meant,
good
like,
minute making sure
Can
it
you not lock the door? Because you're gonna be scaring me as well as your senior.
was spotless. Then when I was satisfied, I stood up. That's when she appeared right in front of my face, staring at me right on the other side of the glass. I was so shocked that I screamed and almost jumped into the air. She looked like the most severely anorexic person I've ever seen, like just a sack of skin hanging from a stiff skeleton, and her eyes were so sunken in that it almost made her skull look hollow. For a moment, I thought she was dead, but somehow still standing. But then after we kept staring,
Bro, what are these like eerie background noises? I'm getting really fucking anxious, bro. What are these?
at each other, her neck started to twitch, tilting her head from side to side. And at the
Weird.
same time, her mouth fell open and she began to make the most awful noise. Like growling almost, but something more inhuman.
Bro, that is not. Oh wait, what did she say again? I forgot. Like a growling. That is not a growling. That's like when you open the door and it goes like that, bro. Oh, like, bro, your jaw cracking.
I backed away from the door, wishing I had kept my keys on me in that moment, or better yet, that there was a deadbolt I could just throw to keep her locked
Give her a
out.
fucking
But there
slap.
wasn't. She wouldn't stop making that sound, staring at me without blinking, without even breathing. I knew I'd been caught off guard, so I tried to collect myself.
Excuse me, can I help you?
She didn't respond. I was beginning to think she was incapable of speech. Without breaking eye contact with me, she walked into the door,
Oh.
pushing it open with her body like she didn't even notice it. Now, to my horror, she was inside the shop, and she still
Whoa, she's not wearing no shoes. Excuse me, love, you can't be out and about with no shoes. Here, listen, love. I know what you could do. You could obviously like lift your foot up, kick her right into the stomach, and boot her out your salon. I won't be dealing with that.
hadn't taken a breath from that creepy clicking sound that she was making with her throat.
Hey, what are you doing here? Can I help you with anything? Hello?
When I shouted at her again, she stopped for a second, but all she did was twitch.
Do you know where you are? Is there anyone I could call for you, ma'am?
Then, something in her twitched up subtly. Her eyes drifted away from me and looked off somewhere else. She took another step forward, slowly and rigidly, then walked past me like I wasn't even there. Her aura was so intense and so deeply unnerving that I was frozen.
Wait. Did she say aura, bro? Bro, I've got positive aura, me.
Stiff until she made her way about 6 feet away from me again. Finally, I remembered I was on the clock, and I tried to tell myself that this was just one of those weird street people that wandered in sometimes. The only thing back where she was walking was the actual salon, and she definitely wasn't allowed in there.
Hey, you can't go back there. Customers only, hey!
She walked right through an open door into one of the rooms, and that awful sound she made followed her in. By this point, I was really losing my patience with her, but I was still so very disturbed, which is why I kept my distance rather than physically blocking
Wait,
her way in.
can I just
some
put in here as well? If you look before where it says reception on the desk, there's literally a phone. Bro, call up your manager and say, "Oh, we've got some random scruff, some random hobo in my salon. Well, in your salon."
Everybody had to deal with the situation, and it just so happened that it had to be me if I wanted to keep my job. So after a few seconds, I tiptoed up the doorway and cautiously peeked around the corner. The image I'll never forget is that woman having crawled onto one of the beds with her contorted body writhing and thrashing like she was a demon being exorcised, right as she snapped her neck to look at me, and screaming,
Wax me, wax me, wax me.
That was my breaking point. I sprinted out of the shop and didn't look back until I jumped into my car and hid inside with the doors locked. From there, I immediately called the police and watched through the windshield into the
She's gonna
shop
smash
to
your
see
window
if she
through.
did anything else while I waited for help to arrive. When they finally showed up, it was only 2 cops in 1 car. They looked pretty aloof until they saw how shaken I was. Then they actually did an investigation. I remained outside while they walked through to go see her, and I watched as they looked all around, then walked back out, shrugging. I couldn't believe them when they said she wasn't in there. I went back in and searched through everything they had just looked at, convinced that she had to be hiding somewhere. but she was literally nowhere to be found.
She's in
I
that cabinet.
explained that there was no backdoor exit, and I know without a doubt that I didn't see her leave the way she came in. So somehow, she had to still be in there. The cops looked like they were already done with me, but they asked to see the security footage anyway. Right then, my stomach dropped as I remembered. My cheapskate boss had been putting off fixing the security cameras for over 2 months, so there was no footage of that night at all. There were cameras in there, but they weren't recording. They were just for show. At that, the cops dismissed everything and left me there, dumbfounded. Of course, I quit on the spot. I didn't want to chance ever seeing her again. It's been about 10 years since that night, and even though most people don't believe me, I always tell this story because of how much it has stuck with me. Honestly, I think that woman was some kind of ghost. It's the only explanation for how she could have appeared and disappeared like that without a trace.
That's fucking scary, that. Oh my god, I'm
You
sorry
asked
for
for
the
more
adverts.
ways to create, so we made a major update. Sleep
Come
printing
on,
is
I don't care about your adverts. True Instagram horror story number 1. Following stories was The Edgy X.
I've been living with a diagnosis of bipolar disorder for many years now, and although I take medication for it, the treatment has never been 100% effective. I don't even know what normal is supposed to feel like anymore, but apparently, I'm not. At least, that's what the people in my life keep telling me. The love of my life was the one who threw it in my face the most. We were together for quite some time, and we used to love going out every chance we got, even after I started seeing my psychiatrist. We did it all. Movie dates, dinner dates, hikes through the nature, and trips to the beach. The whole
That's
romantic
nice.
ringer. And it was often documented by Instagram selfies and that sort of thing. Anybody who knew us based on our social media would have guessed we were a perfectly happy couple, but the reality was not so rosy. Like any couple, we had our ups and downs, but our lows certainly outweighed our highs. Every single argument we ended up getting into got heated and out of hand, sometimes even devolving into physical altercations.
You're not listening to me! Shut up! I'm not talking to you while you're throwing things and screaming at me! I'm not screaming at you, I'm just upset! Over what? I don't even remember anymore. Just leave me alone!
I just want to get this out here. A perfect couple, there's no such thing as a perfect relationship or a couple. You've got to have, I think, a little bit of some arguments in your life. You can't just have a perfect couple with no arguments. There's obviously just going to be some little, minor there's and thens, but yeah.
When things started to blow up, it always ended with her refusing to speak to me and running off into the bedroom, which kept me locked out for hours. I hated being shut out, but when I eventually cooled off and heard her crying to herself on the floor, I always forgot whatever it was we were fighting about, and did what I could to let her know that at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was be there for her.
Baby, I'm sorry. Let's not do this again. It was your fault! It's always your fault! I know it was me. I don't understand myself either. I wish I could for you. But you have to believe me. I'm trying. I don't keep trying. Just please let me in. I'll come out in an hour. Just give me some space.
I can't even remember how many times that scenario played out, but every time, we swept the issue under the rug and pretended like everything was okay. Neither of us knew how in the world we were supposed to fix each other, so we just didn't. Over time, I tried to figure out ways to compensate for the problems. For instance, when we went out, especially right after a big fight, I was always extra affectionate and touchy. I knew that was her love language or something, so I figured she would appreciate the ample PDA. I thought maybe it was working because it always made her smile. But then I slowly realized that it was a fake smile out of awkwardness. And that was the moment I realized she was thinking about leaving me. That made my blood boil. But I was dead set on not fighting in public anymore. So I kept it bottled up and acted like I couldn't notice her rolling her eyes and making me feel like some clingy psychotic boyfriend. But when other men looked at her, I snapped. All the pent-up anger blew up in the face of whatever stupid schmuck had the balls to look at my girl with some dopey smile.
What do you think you're looking at, punk? That's my thing. You better stop staring unless you want a pavement facial. You got that? Stop it. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I'm not the creep who's eyeing something that ain't his. Stop shouting at me. You and I need to talk.
I knew what that meant. That was what she said when she was about to suggest we take a break from each other. But I always shut the idea down. But one night, when I thought she was going to suggest time apart again, she took it a step further.
I can't be in this relationship with you anymore. We need to just be friends.
You're breaking up with me?
Whoa. Not did she just break up with him to be friends? Bro. I mean, I'd start boiling up some anger there.
After everything we've been through together, you're really just gonna end it now?
Yes, we're toxic. We're not good for each other.
No! I can't believe you're doing this to me! You traitor!
I pretty much blacked out when she broke up with me. I smashed everything in my house.
Oi!
I broke windows,
Me microwave! What are you doing?
punched holes in the walls, and ripped the doors off the hinges. And when I came to, the whole place was trashed and my girlfriend was gone. The next day I called her up, but she didn't reply. I had to ring her a dozen times before she eventually picked up.
Baby, I am so sorry about last night. I don't know what came over me. Please give me another chance.
You ran out of chances a long time ago.
I know. But can we meet for one more walk along the trail? We can take pictures on Instagram and just end things properly, you know?
Fine, but we aren't getting back together.
I felt a lot better when I knew I'd at least get to walk through the old nature trail with her one more time. I looked forward to it all day and night, and even got cleaned up a bit just to see her the next day. However, even though we said we were meeting there to talk, we were both pretty quiet. I tried to ease the tension by holding her hand, but she rejected it immediately. From that point on, she acted even more standoffish. We walked a full mile in complete silence. All we did was stop every few hundred feet to take photos of the landscape for Instagram. Except this time, we weren't in the photos together, which definitely stung. By the time we got to the turnaround point of the trail, which was scaled up a hillside and looked over a cliff to the rest of the nature preserve, I was honestly ready to just be done with everything. There was no point in the stupid walk together, and there was no point in even trying to talk to her, let alone try to win her back. The view from the cliff was quite nice that day, and we both made sure to take photos of it. I got one standing next to her by the ledge, but then, while she was engrossed in taking as many photos as possible, I slowly backed up a few steps, got one last picture of her enjoying the view, then ran forward and did the deed.
Oh, yep, I told you he's gonna kill her, innit?
Here's the alleged photograph of the girlfriend. It was the last image shared via
Whoa, oh shit, is that what it meant by it were real? Oh my.
her boyfriend's Instagram. I guess you now know the disturbing backstory behind this candid photo.
Bro. Yeah, I might get angry in a relationship. Yeah, I might have a go at someone for looking at her, but bro, I won't fucking... Just cause she broke up with me, I'm not gonna fucking... Yeah, can we meet up on our national spot? Yeah, I'm gonna push her off a cliff though, innit? Bro, if you are thinking like that, you need to go to a mental asylum or something like that. You shouldn't be doing this. That is just sick. No, bro, I'm not watching this shitting fucking whack stories again. Gorilla. Yeah, that's what my back looks like. Joking.
Thinking about this story from my past always reminds me that I wasn't exactly the most stable person in my mid-20s. I had just gotten out of college with a degree in kinesiotherapy, but after several months of a fruitless search for a job that was actually in my field, I settled for a job in a waxing salon. I only did it because I was out of time and needed to get some kind of income before I went completely broke. But it was a completely dead-end job in the worst part of town. The area was known for robberies and gang activity and generally high crime rates.
What the fuck, bro? Is that Peter Griffin?
We saw our fair share of that from the salon. Every time I went into work, the rotating cast of junkies that would constantly linger outside would harass me for money or try to solicit me for a free wax or something, which is a great way to start the day in a good mood. Unsurprisingly, I hated my life before long. For some reason, the salon was wildly popular with the residents of the neighborhood. There was no wonder why it was understaffed. The place always reeked, yet the customers never seemed to mind.
Sorry, I'm just gonna stop it here. I couldn't work to like wax people, and I couldn't obviously get wax myself. If you think about, I'm trying to think about it now. When people say wax don't hurt as much or wax does hurt, I'm like, I'm still not gonna get it done anyway. If I'm gonna have an hairy body, yeah, I'll have an hairy body, but I'll trim it down a few times.
Probably because they didn't notice it over their own stench. They were the most disgusting sort of people that you can imagine
Ew.
having to work on. None of them seemed to care about personal
Bro, hang on,
hygiene,
hang on.
which
Hang on. I can't even zoom. That's literally Cleveland Brown's outfit from fucking Family Guy. Are we all just ignoring that?
inevitably scared off
He looks like he's got Quagmire's body. And he's literally wearing Peter Griffin's clothes, kinda.
90% of the employees. It was like a salon for all the bums, lards, junkies, and lowlives in the hood to hang out at. I stuck it out for a few months.
Ah! Is that why it's called HSP? Hairy, smelly people.
And the longer I was there, the more I hated myself and everyone around me. Things came to a boiling point around the beginning of February, that time of the year right before Valentine's Day, when everybody wants to get a wax. It made the salon ridiculously busy, and since I was the newest hire, I got stuck with most of the work. For days on end, I didn't get a moment to breathe between clients. Yet I still ended up behind and having to stay
Peanut
late
butter,
with
that.
no
Nom,
overtime
nom,
pay
nom, nom.
when my boss hit it in her office. Every time they screwed me over, I got closer and closer to a full-on mental breakdown, but I was doing everything in my power to keep it together. But then, one day, just a few days before Valentine's Day, it was time to call up an appointment for a man named Homer.
Homer, we're ready for you.
At
Homer
first,
Simpson.
there was no response, and for a moment I
Homer!
thought they hadn't shown up and I might just get ahead of schedule. But of course that wasn't the case.
Oh.
The largest, hairiest man I've ever seen walked in and smiled at me, spiking my blood pressure even higher than it already
Fucking hell.
was. I knew it would easily take me the rest of my shift just to wax this guy depending on what he asked for, and I was too busy to deal with that.
How's he got up out of bed?
I had
Whoa.
no choice.
What kind of wax will you be having today, sir?
A full body wax, please.
Are you sure?
Did I stutter? Did I say I wanted a Brazilian wax? Did I
Bro, your arms look like a fucking KFC, like, big fucking, what's the big ones? It's not a drumstick, because they're on, like, oh, bro. I don't know, just probably a big fillet. But he looked like a fucking beanbag, bro.
BBL? Yes,
Hang on.
I'm sure.
Doesn't he look like that guy from, oh, I'm going to have to search it up now, because I know what it is. Despicable Me. Hang on, look. Hang on. Is it going to find him? No, bro. Him! It's literally him! Oh my. Alright, let's get back. I don't know which. Yeah, it's this one.
Now put some pep in your step, little lady. I don't have all day.
Okay then, right this way, sir.
I kept my cool and let him into the salon room in the back. There, I gave him the usual speech about undressing and getting comfortable, where I was very glad that he left his underwear on. I didn't waste any time getting to work. As soon as he laid down on the table, I smeared the liquid wax on his thick, matted body hair, placed the tape over top of it, then let it rip.
Ah! Slow down, lady, that hurt!
I cracked a little smile at how quickly he went from a big tough guy to a screaming little baby, but I didn't let him see it. I also, of course, didn't slow down.
I'm sorry, sir, but that was just 1 out of 1,000. You've still got 999 more to go.
What?
998?
Stop!
No can do, mister. I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm not gonna spend 1 more minute than I have to with you.
Screw you!
What was that?
Ah!
You're paying for it, mate.
Hold on, please. Something's not right.
Oh, so you think you can tell me how to do my job, is that right?
No. Something just doesn't feel right.
Why don't you just let the professional handle their business?
No! Isn't there a less painful way to do this?
Nope, you're the one who signed up for a full body wax, remember?
Bro, what are these noises? Oh, you
Poured all
watching
my
Plant?
pen
Why
of
did you zoom in
frustration
on
into
Plant then?
ripping out that guy's body hair. Honestly, I don't think I ever worked faster. Something about the pain I was inflicting upon him was extremely motivating, even cathartic.
Well, bro,
By
you're literally missing all the other fucking hairs. Are you taking piss?
the time I was halfway through, the big man
Oh,
was
shit, it's just a
sobbing like
cartoon.
lost child. But no matter how much he whimpered and screamed and begged me to stop, I told him to suck it up and kept going. Actually, his crying made me laugh. The more pathetic his pain, the funnier I found the whole situation. I don't think I ever enjoyed a single day at that job, but I did enjoy working at home. About 45 minutes later, we were done. I cleaned the pile of discarded tape and left Homer in the room to get dressed while I went out to the waiting room to call up my next client. However, right as I walked out the door, My boss was there in my face, glaring at me like I just killed somebody.
She's
She looked
moonwalking, bro.
behind
What
me
the
and
fuck is
saw
that?
me writhing around the table, looking like a shriveled up, hairless chihuahua. She started freaking out and began apologizing profusely, offering him some sort of compensation before finally escorting him out the door. After he limped away, she went back into the
Well, how was it her fault? He wanted a full body wax. He thought he were a tough man, but when she did one, he screamed like a little bitch. Bro, don't ask for a full body wax then. And to be honest, bro, it looks like a squashy.
room and rummaged through my setup to see why the appointment turned out that way. And that's when she came to me with a huge bottle of Gorilla Glue, asking me if I had used it on Homer. The funny thing is, I don't remember bringing that into work, but when I think about it, it makes sense. I must have been in a really bad mood and thought it would be a good idea, but apparently waxing somebody with industrial-grade adhesive was not humane. They fired me that day, which I wasn't really pressed about. My life, my career, my mental stability have gotten much better now that I'm rid of that place. But I'm still surprised Homer never sued us. I'm just glad he never decided to press charges against me either. As I look back and reflect on that incident, I always wonder what became of him, and if he ever recovered from the damages. But the one thing I'll never know is if he ever got some for Valentine's Day.
That is horrible. I'm sorry for the ads again. That is really horrible. What do you mean he's got no for, like, fucking Valentine's Day? True New Year's Horror Story 1. Oh. The house party. Well, this looks real, if I don't know. You got some teenagers at a house party, yeah?
When I was in college, I was a heavy
fuck?
party.
Bro, out of everything you draw some random fucking scary bastard. He looks like he's on drugs. Why is his pupils so big?
I would go to just about every house party I heard about, and I got to know a lot of people in that crowd. Or at least I think I did. I wasn't one of those jocks or anything. I was just one of those people that like to drink a lot and have better memories of the beginnings of parties than I do the middle or end. I usually went by myself, hoping to meet people there. But a lot of the time, the only thing I got to know was the bottom of the bottle. One night, my drinking habit almost got me into serious trouble. I was at this guy named Larry's house. He was a bit of a geek, but somehow he had the privilege of having this huge house right off campus that was perfect for partying. This particular night was the third or fourth time I'd gone to a party at Larry's. They were always a blast. It was packed every time, and that night was even crazier. It was a New Year's party. Everybody was there, starting from the football team, the jocks, the cheerleaders, the frat boys, all the sorority girls, plus the clout chasers like me, and just about every kind of person you can imagine. There was a hot tub and a pool, and the most fun thing to do was to climb on the roof and jump into the pool with a cannonball or something. But nobody was allowed to jump from the second floor balcony. That was Larry's one forbidden rule. No matter how packed it got, nobody was ever allowed to go upstairs. Of course, that drew everyone's attention to the unlit staircase around the corner, but nobody dared to break the rule. Larry might have been a nerd, but he was the man in charge of the house, and he had some respect for that. Nobody wanted to be banned from Larry's parties, and neither did I, of course. But unfortunately, I went a little too hard at the New Year's party. I pre-drank by downing a couple beers before I got there. I then grabbed one within the first minute. Then I had another, then another, and another. By the time it was getting close to the new year, it was on like 8 or 10. The whole house was spinning, and from what I heard about my behavior from others later on, I was pretty belligerent. I was about 5 minutes from passing out when I crashed on the living room couch and wouldn't move. At the time of the night, I could hear all the commotion of people hurrying outside to light fireworks at midnight. I wanted to go out there too, but I knew that amount of movement just wasn't in me. I was the last person in the house and Larry was hovering over me, trying to get me to go. Hey man, get up. You're gonna miss the fireworks. Nah man, I'm good. Just leave me here, I'll be alright. Really man? You're gonna sleep on the New Year's? Dude, I'm lit as hell. I am not moving. But you're gonna get sick on my couch, aren't you? Come on and throw up outside if you're gonna yak. Hey man, I can hold my liquor. I ain't never thrown up in anybody's house. Just ask anybody, alright? I just need a nap, okay? So just let me be and let me lay down. Alright man, listen to me. You better not go upstairs. You hear me? Yeah, man, whatever. Alright, just come outside if you're feeling better. Larry finally left me alone and went out to the backyard. Then, I was alone and about half an inch from blacking out completely. The only thing that kept me conscious was what Larry had just said. What he was always saying about the upstairs. The stairwell was staring right at me, making me wonder why in the world he was so serious about that over all other things. Larry never cared if somebody shattered a $500 vase in their drunkenness, but it was like we all lived in fear of what would happen if somebody went upstairs. The curiosity was killing me, despite being hammered out of my mind. At some point, I heard somebody call out that it was just 5 minutes before midnight. Fireworks were already being set off prematurely, so I felt like there was no better time than then. Despite being unable to even walk, I slid off the couch and crawled on the floor to the stairwell. Then I dragged myself up the steps. I had to stop a few times just to clench my stomach so I wouldn't yak right on the stairs, but I made it up eventually. The landing came out to a long empty hallway that was pitch black. I made out 4 doors along the wall. I crawled along the floor to the first one and reached up to open it. Then I peeked inside. Nothing, just a normal bedroom, although it didn't look like anyone actually lived in it. I shut the door and made my way over to the next one. Same thing, just a normal room, except this one was an office. The third room wasn't special either. It was just a completely empty space. All that was left was the 4th door at the far end of the hallway. Whatever the secret was, I thought, it had to be behind that door. I was running out of steam, but I made one last push. As I got close to the door, I heard muffled screaming from outside, growing louder and louder. I then realized they were just counting down from 10. By then, I already had my hand on the doorknob, but I made it a point in my delirium to wait until the stroke of midnight to try to open the door.
Oh. He's there.
I turned the doorknob, but it was locked.
Damn it, it's locked.
Then,
Oh,
at
shit.
that exact moment, Larry body slammed me against the door. It was like he came out of nowhere, but by the time I realized what was happening, he was already putting me in some kind of stranglehold.
You stupid little snake. Do you have any idea what I'm going to do to you? Hey, Scott, where you at? You good? Can't have you puking on someone's couch again.
If there hadn't been that friend of a friend downstairs looking for me, I'm sure I would have died right then and there. Thankfully, when Larry heard them calling my name, he let me go.
Get the hell out of my house. Don't you even think about coming back unless you have a death wish, you hear me?
He said this as he shoved me back towards the other end of the hallway. The adrenaline from the situation sobered me up just enough to stand and stumble down the hall. But as soon as I got to the stairs, I slipped on the first step and fell down the entire staircase.
Whoa, you okay, man? You need someone to call an ambulance?
There was a horrible commotion when everybody saw me hit the floor. The impact was just about the last thing I remember. That friend that saved me ended up calling an Uber and getting me home. Ever since then, I've had to avoid Larry. I always got weird
You know
looks
what I
from-
would have done? I would have gone. I would have told, you know, the people around me. I would have said, "He's pushed me from upstairs," and then get everyone fucking get him smacked,
And
have
that's
a
cool.
fight with him.
But I guess I'm better off not partying anymore anyway.
That's creepy, that though.
For a limited
Oh my
time
God,
only,
these ads are
pay
getting
no
worse.
joining fee at Pure Gym.
Should I have to-
Join
I'm gonna have to
today
buy
and get that
premium
feel-good
like that.
flowing.
Oh, nearly shared it then. Alright, true Instagram horror story. This is going to be the last one for today. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a good like 40 minutes or something, so let's get this over and done with this one. Slide in your what, DM?
As an Instagram,
Oh, I thought you normally say that thing.
I'm quite used
Hang
to
on.
seeing
This is Quagmire's house. Swear it is.
thousands of creepy comments from thirsty, drooling dudes on my posts, especially the ones with my more seductive pictures. When I started out, they never bothered me. It wasn't so different from the pathetic advances I was used to getting in person. And after all, those desperate
I
men
could
were the
do some
main source
yoga.
of my income as a model. When you become an adult at a time like this, you have to make sacrifices to get by. But my parents were always judging me for it. They said they were just concerned, but I know how they really felt. The last thing I wanted to do was to be the kind of people they are. I was just waiting until I saved enough money to move out of their house and get away from their corporate attitudes. And I was going to take my dog with me. Her name was Carly and she was like my sister. She was always the sweetest dog, but for some reason my parents started to hate her. She seemed like she had developed some kind of anxiety disorder. Every night after my parents went to bed, she would start barking and just wouldn't stop. She had a big voice on her too and would bark constantly all throughout the night until her poor little voice was hoarse the next morning. I did my best to comfort her, but no matter what I did, she wouldn't quiet down. My parents got fed up and started leaving her in the backyard every night. Of course, this only made Carly more anxious, but at least they didn't have to hear it so much. I had trouble sleeping without Carly.
Bro, that's Quagmire's bed as well. Oh my.
She used to sleep with me in my bed, but when all that started, I would lay out on the couch in the living room until I passed out, scrolling through my Instagram out of boredom. One night I got so bored I went digging through my DMs. Of course, I almost never looked in there because it was almost 100% advances from creepy dudes. And sure enough, there must have been—
Wait, messengers linked via Instagram? I thought it were just normal Instagram messages.
thousands of those messages. I never interacted with any of them because all of my good followers knew that if they wanted to talk to me, they had to subscribe to my OnlyFans. But one night,
oh shit, bro! I didn't know you had an OnlyFans. Could clearly fucking tell, couldn't you? Oh.
Account caught my eye. I'd seen him so much that I barely even noticed him anymore. But when I looked, I realized he had left a shockingly desperate comment, sometimes even multiple comments, on every single one of my posts. Not only that, but he had sent me a DM literally every single day. And every message was the same. Just him begging to be with me and asking for freebies, along with the same boomer selfie every day. I couldn't resist looking at his account. He was a 40-something-year-old dude named Charlie with a big fat double chin and a chubby face. He was following over 2,000 accounts, most of which were bots or other models, but he had exactly 0 followers himself.
Are we all dumb here? Why does it say edit profile? But then you've got the little unless you want to check. Bro, it's literally her, isn't it?
Probably because he didn't post anything except hundreds of pictures of his face in the same pose in the same dark background which looked like his basement. I knew it was probably a bad idea, but for some stupid reason I texted him back thinking he was too digitally stupid to find my OnlyFans.
Hey there, Charlie. I know you want to chat and see more of me, but I don't do any of that on Instagram. If you click the link in my bio, you can subscribe and get everything you want, including private chats with me and exclusive naughty photos and videos.
I didn't even have time to tap out of the chat before he replied.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. You replied. I'm so happy right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. You're the most awesome person I've ever talked to.
Thanks.
I couldn't think of anything else to answer with. I was off-put by the fact that he replied to my message so quickly, as if he'd been obsessively waiting by the phone for me. I was already regretting the decision.
You're so very, very welcome. Would you like to video chat? I'd really like to see your face.
My stomach quivered. Video calling this guy was—
You know what you just put to that? Excuse me. You know what you put? Give me your money, you old freak. Link up to my OnlyFans right now and you get to see everything.
It's the last thing I wanted to do. I was literally in my pajamas with no makeup on and my hair looking a mess. Plus, I didn't want to show face to this creep anyway. I put my phone down and tried to distract myself with some TV, but I couldn't ignore it. Between Carly barking herself silly and my phone buzzing constantly from all of Charlie's messages, I couldn't relax at all. And eventually, my curiosity got too intense. I had to see what he was saying.
Why are you leaving me on red?
Along with a dozen manic messages, he'd sent me another selfie, but this time he was shirtless, revealing his chubby middle-aged body. And he was also crying. I decided I had enough of him and muted him on Instagram. I turned up the volume of the TV and did my best to put the whole thing out of my mind. Unfortunately, I really wanted to know if he'd gotten the hint. After a little while, I decided to check one more time. He'd sent a bunch more pictures, all of him with his face getting twisted and red with anger like a fussy toddler. That, and quite a few disrespectful texts.
Stop ducking me, stupid thought! Don't ignore me, you tramp!
When I read all that nasty stuff, I got heated. I couldn't resist giving him a piece of my mind. Admittedly, I didn't feel any better after I sent that message. More like I'd made some sort of childish mistake. I paused the TV and tried to figure out what I should do next. I could hardly focus on anything though.
Do something next. Block him. Yeah, restrict it or something. I don't fucking know what that means.
For some reason, everything was eerily quiet. That's when I got the last selfie from Charlie. He was in Carly's doghouse, crouching right over her with his arm around her face, trying to break free from his grip. I rushed to my feet and ran out into the backyard, straight for Carly. I found her in the doghouse, decapitated.
Oh, he's
She
killed
was
her?
in two pieces in a pool of her own blood, and Charlie's footprints were all over the place. Ever since then, my life has never been the same. How can I go back to normal when I know that psycho was creeping into my backyard every night? And to think poor Carly was just trying to warn us the whole time, but we didn't listen. I don't even trust my parents anymore. I live with some friends now. I've shaved my head and I never wear makeup anymore. I never even wear more than baggy sweatpants and oversized shirts wherever I go. It's all in the hope that if he doesn't find me attractive anymore, he'll leave me alone. I don't think I'll ever believe it though. I deleted all my social media accounts, but as far as I can tell, so did Charlie, which means I was never even able to report him. All the police have is his shoe size, but until they find him, I can never rest knowing he's still out there.
Alright, here we are with adverts again. Excuse me. Alright. This is literally the last one now. True Omegle Horror Story 3. I am sorry, but I'll be watching that next time. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll be putting it straight up to YouTube. I'll be doing a Patty Mayo one eventually, but I'm going to make a playlist first. So, with that, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.